Hello, just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. Today I am looking at the latest subscription box from Beauty Moon Cosmetics. I would show you the box, but I don't have it anymore because I've already unboxed it and I have already tried a few of the products in here, but today I want to try/use everything and effectively do a full face from scratch. I'm barefaced at the moment, and the reason I am barefaced is because the first thing I would like to try is this here, primer. To be honest, I don't use primer much, if at all, anymore. The main reason being that almost as I've aged, my skin has become less oily and a little bit drier, so as long as I moisturise properly, I don't tend to need a primer, but there's a primer in the box, so we're going to use it. So it's kind of got like a bit of a silicone-y texture, so I have rubbed it on the back of my hand because when I did the unboxing I did a short/reel just so I could feel the texture and also demonstrate it. I mean, obviously you can't feel the texture through the lens, but just by sort of smearing it out, applying it to the back of my hand, I hope that would kind of give you some indication of what that texture is like. Feels quite nice on the skin. Does it have a scent? Very, very faint scent. I couldn't put my finger on what it is, but it's not offensive. So if you're not into scents, or if you don't like applying things with a fragrance, then I think that this would be fine. So that's the primer. So this is one of the products that I had not tried, because when I did my makeup, when I did try the other bits and pieces, as I say, I moisturised, I used sun cream, I set that with powder actually, and then I used my Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm foundation, and that's all I need with that foundation. I don't need to put a primer on, absolutely not. I don't tend to use my Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm foundation when I film, so what I want to do is go through my other foundations and see sort of what else I can use apart from just constantly going to that foundation. And I did really like the Luminous Silk, and I remember I got this on sale, just the little version, I didn't get the big one. So let's try that, refresh my memory, see if I still like it, and then I could perhaps put that back into my foundation rotation using the clear version of the Blurring Balm foundation as the universal shade, as a primer, hoping that will give the same effect as using my actual shade. So this is the Luminous Silk foundation. I want to say it's in the shade 14. It is indeed in the shade 14, I remembered. I've been resisting the urge to place an order with Glisten Cosmetics because they have a sale on at the moment. But one of the things that's making me want to go for it is for times like this when I'm not using a palette that has a mirror in it. So I've picked up my bronzer because that's got a good sized mirror in it, and that's what I'm currently using because I'm going to be using the quad that came in this here purple edition subscription box, and that does not have a mirror. And even if it did, it would be akin to applying my makeup with a mirror the size of a postage stamp. But Glisten Cosmetics currently have a sale on, and they're giving you a free mirror over a certain amount. And I could do with a mirror, just a nice little handheld mirror. So yeah, I do like that. I'm going to have to remember that. I'd forgotten how much I like this foundation. And I'm going to try it. I mean, I don't know if it's a combination of the primer and the foundation. Quite possibly, I'm not sure. But as I say, I do remember really liking this foundation. And it's quite lightweight So it could be a good summer foundation. For concealer, in the spirit of trying things, I was going to reach for either my Danessa one or my... Oh, they're both here. Yeah. So I've been using my Fenty one a lot, but let me try my Yummy Skin Lift and Flex concealer, and funnily enough that's also in the shade 14, and that's Danessa Myricks there. I think I have tried this before, and my complaint is the doe foot. I don't know if you can see it that far away, and if I zoom it probably won't focus, but it's got a very small, like divoted doe foot. So if you do want to apply more than like a dot of concealer, you do have to dip in quite a lot. But then having said that, I probably apply far too much concealer anyway, to be fair. I'm going to apply, like blend this out probably off camera, because I'm going to use a damp beauty blender and I haven't dampened my beauty blender yet. So I'm just going to go off and do that. And I've just remembered I don't normally do my concealer at this stage. I normally wait until I've done my eyeshadow. I'm getting ahead of myself. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go and blend this out. I'm armed with my beauty blender damp. I've blended it out mostly, and I've got to say I think I do prefer my Fenty one. I'll experiment a little with application techniques. Maybe this prefers a brush rather than a beauty blender. Eyeshadow primer. What have I got in here? Let's do the Be Perfect priming one, shall we? And this is what it looks like on the inside. So I've used it just once so far, and what I might do is I'll just insert a little image of the look that I did the other day. And what I was thinking of doing, so the look I did the other day, that was all 4 shades, because I just wanted to see what it would look like. Obviously with a quad you are a bit limited, however I am somewhat curious to see what you could do to get a bit of variety. So maybe I'll do one eye where I only use like 2 shades, and maybe I'll repeat kind of what I did the other day. Or maybe let's just start with Aurora. That is Aurora, isn't it? Yeah, so that's the lightest purple shade. I'll start with that, and then we'll just see what happens. And is this a 227? Yep, so over 227. Now, the colour story of this little quad is right up my street. I love purple, I love blue. Some of my favourite colours to work with. Thinking about the pink edition subscription box, I would say that the shadows from that box are noticeably and quite considerably in the shadows in this box. Would I say that for the shimmers and the mattes? Definitely the mattes. I recall the mattes in the pink edition box being rather dry. Those are the 4 shades in there. Okay, so I've settled on pairing Aurora with Celestial Dance. So this is one of those shades, you can't see it anymore, but it's sort of different colours in the pan. I mean, you kind of can, it's like blue and purple mixed together. But then you can see that's the shade it comes out as when you swatch / apply. So let's do that now. That's pretty actually. I quite like that. There is a strong urge to go into the deep purple and deepen things up a bit, but I'm not going to. Could do it on the lower lash line, but no, I'm still not going to do it for that either. So over 230. And what I did for the look that I did the other day, I used a NYX highlighter as my inner corner highlight, and I think I'll do the same again. I really like that actually. With some mascara and some liner, I think that's going to be really pretty. Simple and pretty. And we're going to do the same on the other eye, but with the two shades we haven't used yet. So reference number 1 into Magnetic Midnight here, and that's the shimmer we're going to use, Frozen Sky. And we're going to speed through this bit because I don't think you need to hear me blabbering on. You can listen to some nice music instead while I do this. What I will say is, sorry to interrupt the lovely music, this is a bit patchier, so that one was blended out beautiful, no sort of resistance at all. This one is sticking a little bit, so I might have to work that one a little bit harder, but I think that happens a lot with dark purples, to be fair. Resume music. At this point I get out two different NYX Buttermelt highlighters. The pink one is You Better Work and the green one is Butter Mint, and that's what I'm using as the inner corner for both eyes. I move on to the mascara here and I show you the box and then the component itself, which has Beauty Moon Cosmetics written on there. Apply the few coats here to get it even, and I'm showing you here the difference that I think it's made with and without. I also turn to the side here in an attempt to show you the length it's given my lashes. Hopefully you can see it. I almost forget the loose pigment, Fairy Fizz, so I've reached for it here and I'm just dabbing it over my looks to see what the difference is. I'll do it on this eye as well because I'm curious now. I prefer it over this shade. And I'm sure I've used this incorrectly. There's probably a better way to use this. I think it's nice over both, but I definitely prefer it over this side. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, yeah, I like that. That's nice. Definitely used it wrong, definitely, but it still made it look pretty, so I'm happy with that. Ooh. Blush time. Blush, blush, blush. I'm very slow today. This is going to be fun editing this. So this is the blush here. Pressed Compact Blush in the shade Divine, which is a rather divine purple shade. I'm a fan of a purple blush myself. I do like a purple blush. I think it's very flattering on deep skin tones, to be honest. That's it there. This is my rougher number 4, which I tend to use for blush. It's quite pigmented, you can probably see there. I do go a bit ham with blush. I do like a bit of blush. But yeah, it's a really nice shade. Do I dare put a bit more on? I like this, and I don't think this is one, like, this lasted quite well when I used it the other day. It would obviously last longer if I'd, oh, that was a lot. Ooh. If I put it over a liquid, that's a lot. How have I done this? Seriously. It's okay. I put on quite a lot the other day and it toned down, but without disappearing completely by the end of the day. So that's okay. Perhaps looking a little bit like someone slapped me across the face there, because I have put on a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. I might go in with some setting powder again. I always get carried away with blush, always. But it's normally fine, because by midday it looks like a normal person has applied blush. That's still a lot. Oops. But it just shows you it's pigmented, so be careful. Try not to get carried away like I did. Because this is all about Beauty Moon, I'm going to revisit the first sub box, and I'm going to use the liquid highlighter and the setting spray from there, because why not? So that's the highlighter that came in the first box, and it's called Moon Dew. And I really like this, and I learnt from the last time to apply it on the back of my hand, let it dry down just a tinsy wincy bit, and then dab it. Dab. I think it goes well. The last one was pink edition, this is purple edition. Nice. And then for a lippy, now I did mention I don't like this on its own, but I'm curious. This is the Half Magic Crystal Butter in Icon Aurora. Let's try it. No, that kind of works with this look actually. Could probably do with a liner. It's a bit stark. I could have used a liner there, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. Here are the eyes, complete. So they've got the Aurora Spell Quad, the mascara, and also the Loose Pigment Fairy Fizz on there. I think, do you know what? I really like this eye. I haven't gone for the level of depth that perhaps I normally do, but I quite like the etherealness of this. But then that's a really nice combo. I do like that. And I do regret I should have switched the inner corners. I wish I'd switched the inner corners. I think that would have looked better. But I think this works. This is it's a really nice quad actually, really nice quad. I like this a lot. And I'll zoom you out. I think I might look a bit manic because I foolishly did not shake the dewy highlighter before I put it on Moon Dew. I didn't shake it, so I think it's kind of gone a little bit all over the place, but that's my fault because I didn't shake it first, and I think some of the sparkle might have settled. So I should have given it a good shake, but this is my face. This is my face. Did I go ham on the blush? Perhaps I did, but I think it looks pretty. I do. And I think this is kind of I've tried this before and I haven't liked it, but I really like it today. I do. I really like this box. The quad, winner. I knew I was going to love this. I knew it. I don't think I've said I'm a terrible YouTuber. I should have said this bit up front, but this was very kindly sent to me in PR by Tori, who is the owner of Beauty Moon Cosmetics. So yeah, Aurora Spell, beautiful quad. I knew I was going to love this, right up my street. I will say Magnetic Midnight is a bit drier and perhaps a little bit trickier to blend, but it does blend. You can see it did. I did cheat a tiny bit and soften it up by using the Zoeva 227 that had a tiny bit of Aurora left on there. So that just helped us blend out the edge a little bit. But you can't even really tell that lighter shade is involved. It just helped to smooth it out around the edges, if I can speak. Really like this mascara. Really like this mascara. This is one where possibly in 6 months' time, when I've either used it up or I have to bin it, I might be annoyed I can't pick it up again. That's the thing with a limited edition subscription box. But I might see how I get on using it over the next few weeks, and if there are any spares left and I find that I'm still really liking this, I might have to buy a backup. That's if they sell any more of these separately. Really like that. The Fairy Fizz, which I'm sure I've used incorrectly, but I love this eye especially, how it made it look when I dabbed a little bit over the top of this eye. Really, really pretty, this Fairy Fizz. And I'll look into how to use this properly. I'm sure how I've used it is fine, but I'm sure there are probably some techniques and better ways to utilise this. But the way I have used it, Fairy Fizz, loose pigment, I like that. The primer, I don't know if I can be a fair judge of the primer. It felt nice, and I have to say when I put my foundation on, I did like how my foundation looked. I don't like how my concealer looks, but I think that's more on the concealer than anything else. So I would say I like this primer, but I'm not a primer kind of person. That's all I would say. And then I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, the blush, which, yeah, I really love the shade. So I've got powder everywhere. Purple blush, really flattering on deep skin. Pigmented, as you can see. Actually, now I've zoomed you out, it doesn't look as manic. But when I first put it on, I was a bit concerned. But I always do that. I go in with blush far too much than is absolutely necessary. But it's fine. It normally rectifies itself throughout the day. Which one would I say I preferred the most? Pink or purple? So pink was the last one. Pink had the spray, which I've used today, as well as the highlighter that I've used today. It also had a pink gloss, which I did like once I used a liner with it. On its own, it was a bit... Imagine this, but dialed up. What else was in there? A brush, which is a foundation brush, which wasn't as dense as I would like, so I would use it, but for a different purpose. And the quad. Did I say the quad already? No, I think that's it. Spray, highlighter, gloss, brush, quad. Definitely prefer this quad. This quad, the colour story is more my preference. The mascara in this I love. I think it's going to have to be the purple one for me. I think I like more of the products in here, and I like them more individually. So for me, it's the purple. That one trumps the pink for me, but I do still like the pink. So what I might do as a bit of an experiment is merge the pink and the purple quads together. See what look I can come out with using those two. I'm going to leave it there because I've been very slow in applying this makeup. Very slow. And I don't want this video to be too long, but I suspect it might be. Oops. Yeah. Thank you to Tori for sending me this box. Very much appreciate it. Right up my alley. Great box. Love it. Looking forward to seeing what's in the next one. Green edition, maybe? Wishful thinking? But green edition could be quite nice. Just saying, Tori. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I also hope to see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Take care. Bye.